speaker is Vishnu Rajapudi. Vishnu is a cloud engineer at Pseudo Consultants. He specializes in AI and generative AI, cloud migrations, and building secure automated cloud infrastructures, bringing both hands-on expertise and strategic insight to his work. Today, he will be speaking on transforming enterprise productivity with Amazon QuickSuite and AWS Transform, the future of agentic AI and cloud automation. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Vishnu.
Hi everyone. So today I'm going to more talk about how we're gonna use something SaaS kind of products from the AWS directly to enterprise. We can see why I'm just referring to this instead of building something on your own. You can manage it, you can deploy it, or you can scale it. But there are a lot of areas where you don't want to scale it or you don't want to maintain that responsibility. So yeah, my session will be on the QuickSuite and the AWS Transform. So just quick introduction on me. So I work as cloud engineer at Sudo. So also I'm a community builder and also 12x certified golden jacket holder. So mostly I am focusing on cloud security AI. So how we can start building some agents or something kind of workflows from the prompt to the production, so using the AWS. So I think since the morning you can see a lot of speakers told about the evolution of AI. So which was yesterday's new thing, today it's obviously the old one. You can see traditional AI, generative AI, and agentic AI. So obviously you know the much differences. It's not differences, it's a kind of a blur line between those. So, yeah. So simply we just directly go into the agentic AI. So what agentic AI means? Everyone knows it's like autonomous. So what is exactly the autonomous? Like, why would I need an agentic AI? So why can't I use some Gen AIs for myself? Why I need agentic AI? So as you can see, most of the time in generative AI or AI agents, they need some human intervention. They need some input from you in order to validate their response and give you the back. So, but in an autonomous thing, you're going to give them some set of prompts already. So if you're something, you are looking for a ticket booking system, if you already seen my history, okay, he was locating nearby, so let's go and search the nearby details for him. So it asks you the preferable time slot. If it has some history regarding yourself, he loves to go around 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So let's see some slots available. So what kind of genre he loves. So we're going to give the pre-structured format to those agents, so they can going to manage and they're going to give the response pretty easily. So it will be tedious task when you use some AI agents in this one. Like every set needs some specialization to that. But in agentic AI, you can plug everything into one agent, or you can also do the multiple agent setup, which earlier our speakers mentioned, the flow, the orchestrators, you can do that supervisor and the agents and stuff. So we know every organization, every enterprise wants to build something on the agentic AI. So how can I start? So we have vast number of documents, for example, for HRs. So we need some policies, we need some information on that. So we can't go to some SharePoint, some etc. site to get some information. We need something at speed, and we obviously know everyone was using ChatGPT. We are keeping our own data in that. Obviously, we don't know how it going to be end up, how gonna it might be trained by the ChatGPT models, or it can be resisted in the other regions where we should not need. So the first question is how we can truly leverage the agentic AI. Should we go for agentic AI? Should not? And do I need to build something or use something ready? So I can see a lot of people has a lot of worriness on this one. So building something takes a lot of tedious task. Like if you talk about me, basically the Bedrock agents, you need some Lambda functions under the hood. You need to create those Lambda functions, and you need to monitor those functions all. You need to take care about the concurrencies of the Lambdas, etc. It's obviously a tedious one. So why can't I use something ready for that instead of managing everything? So we can look into that. So the data privacy is the main thing here. So most of the part in India, we don't care about the data receipts. It only matters the cost and the performance. If you go out of India, every organization takes care about the data compliance and how the data going to end up and how securely it was there. It's not like the performance or the cost. They mostly take care about the data compliance. And another thing, the the fourth point might be not relevant to the above three one. So everyone wants to move to the AI, like to the cloud, using agentic AI. So it's not simply moving from legacy to the cloud. It's not a piece of a cake to move there. You have a lot of need a lot of developers to transform the code, or you need to have a lot of human intervention, estimations, etc. We can see a lot of bubbles. I mean, questions are bubbling around. So today we're going to see some of the services which you can leverage in your personal use or for the enterprise as well. So the first three questions, obviously the QuickSuite. The QuickSuite is a combination of quick flows, quick chat. Have you ever, everyone was using Amazon Q, so anyone was using Amazon Q. Obviously, you know how Amazon Q works in the AWS console. Q developer, obviously it's a kind of a cursor, and Q business was there. Now QuickSuite is something, it's like a family of that. It contains a lot. Obviously, previous speaker mentioned about NA10. So we need something kind of that in AWS as well. So the QuickSuite is something, it can do that one as well. The next one is AWS Transform, which I mentioned in my earlier keynote talk, which is the first agentic AI, which going to transform your legacy applications into modernized. It can be Python, it can be Java, it can be your JavaScript, it can be something you are a pretty coder, allows to create infrastructure using SDKs. So how I can migrate from that to here in span of 1 week? So obviously you need to check what functions or like what libraries are deprecated or what are not secure. So you need to do the tedious task in the background, right? So the mainframe migration as well, VMware. So AWS has already something called EVS as well. So we can see how these two tools make it differ for us in order to move and adopt them. So the QuickSuite, I really love that using. So that's like a daily AI companion for us. So it is an agentic AI platform which has something called quick flows, quick automate, quick research, and anything. So it can be your enterprise chat GPT as well. It can be your personal chat GPT as well. You create multiple flows, n number of workflows. For example, if you want to do some resume analyzer, you can do that. If you are something a solution architect, you want to review the architecture, but you cannot trust the AI obviously going not to put the architecture directly into ChatGPT or something. You can build upon that. You can also connect your enterprise, your organization data to that as well. So it's a simpler. It's going to spin up, okay, these are the previous architectures. So how it can be reasonable to this one. So how we can give some suggestions to this one. How we can map to this one to the latest changes as well. So it can do anything. You can just be better at telling it in the English. So the prompt is something we communicate. How well we communicate, at the end of the day, we get the much better response. The prompt engineering is something for the AI as well. So we need to be prompt well. So we are not everyone going to master the prompt engineering, obviously. It has a lot of flavors, a few shot, zero shot, and a chain of thoughts. So next, it also integrates with something called QuickSight. So we need some dashboards, fancy dashboards for our data. So obviously, people might know about Tableau, Power BI, obviously, right? You don't want to scatter around your data across multiple vendors. Like if you're doing some visualization in Microsoft, you're using some agents, N8, using N8, you don't want to scatter around the agents. Obviously, you need one ecosystem where you can do everything. So this is the QuickSuite it can do. The easiest part is you don't need to learn, like you don't need to have awareness of the coding and infrastructure totally take care by the AWS, even the high availability as well. So this is the console of the QuickSuite. So these are the features it has. So I tried out on the quick flows and automations. You can see the integrations as well. It will connect with the MCP servers as well and with the SAP, if you have a SAP integrations, Salesforce. It connects with every integration you need, even with your APIs as well. It's not something limited to certain resources or integrations. You can see analyze dashboards, which is what I'm mentioning before. The QuickSight, it does the analyze topics. You don't need to have a fancy data pipeline to that. I need to do some ETL to that, etc. You can just dump the data here. You can just see how the topic's going to analyze your data. So this column is something you don't need. It has some less number of data? Why can't we remove it, or why can't we do something on that? You're going to start conversational on your data directly in the topics, then you can create the dashboard easily. So the research is something where you want to research, like people want to know how the other business are working, right? So obviously you need to get some agenda over that. You need to research on something as well. There is something called a research as well. It can embed with your data and as well as the external data source. Until unless you give access to that, you will have that authority as well. It's not like go and use the external data. It's also use your internal data as well. So this is something simple I built for my sales team. So they want some email marketing assistant where it's going to see the trend of Middle East and it's going to generate some flows. This is the prompt basically I used, and sorry if I see any spelling mistakes in that. So you can see, right, I just did that. On the side, it created me a flow. You can able to edit those flows if you need it. You can also integrate with your Slack if you need it. You have that kind of thing. How much time it will take you need to create some same thing in the N8N. So obviously you need to connect every dot and there. So it's just simple, right? So these are some snippets on that. You can see what kind of target industry I am focusing on. Let's agenda for this month was on the health. So let's take on the health. How should be campaign level? It should be like anything lead generation. We are focusing on lead generation, or we're focusing on the product push. You can see there. A target audience is the manager, CEOs, IT managers, etc. The company name. So like obviously, if sudo using that, you can write a sudo. If you're using your organization, you can use that. You can also remove that form placeholder as well once you click on the editor button. So once you run, you can see on the downside, it's able to query through all of my flows, and it given me final output as well with the flavors, like the formal tone, informal tone. You can have it in your hands. So can you just a simple demo, like I'm not going to go through because transform must be the one we need to know much about it. So you can just play with the 2x speed. It's fine, 2x or 2.5. You can see it's simple. These are placeholders. So we can just duplicate it. You can have a default value placeholder. It is something like play around your form. You can see the research button, right? It was doing its taking the information from the web. You can also handle that as well. So view the prompt. This is the prompt. So there is nothing. You can also give barely a single prompt as well. You can see the flow as well. It was taking the previous flow information as well. And also it was developing the strategies, creating the campaigns, follow-up emails, if you got any response back from them. So it's a generic example I have worked. So we work almost 20 flows with us for architecture view, for latest AWS updates, because last month was very hectic because AWS has been releasing a lot of services. We need to follow up on that. We also had one flow on that, which automatically creates a Slack. It generates the data. It gives us to a Slack. You can see I'm just barely entering some information. So you can just I'm just mentioning my organization as sudo. You can see that side, right? It's a kind of a chart. You can also do, you can also see the output, how it was, flow was working on. You can also intervene in between as well. So if you don't like any of the flows, you can just remove it as well. It's in your hand totally. So once it is done, my request has been went to the processing. So it was mapping my inputs. So these are the inputs needed in order to run the next flow. And then it was able to generate some content. You can move forward, little forward. Yeah, move it. You can see the information was generating. And it was research in Middle East trends. You can move pretty quicker. So this thing takes, if you are a manual task to get this much of information, it might take 1 week. End up, obviously, you need to take a lot of resources into this one. You can just move faster. Little faster. So every flow it was getting, you can able to download the response as well. So you can able to validate the response as well. You can also add validation step as well in order to validate. It's not like blindly giving it and we're using that. You can also have that authority as well. It is a simple thing, right? The one flow, one prompt, barely 2 or 3 sentences, and then kaboom, this was created for you. You can just modify it instead of building something, maintaining it, and it's embedded to your AWS account. So that is the main thing. So these are everything. You can see, right? The QuickSuite data. So I can have a general knowledge. I can have some images. The UI agent is something, you can give a URL to that. You're going to browse from that particular website. It is something really pretty cool, right? If you have some reliable website, you can just give there. And you can see some actions also. Actions is nothing but connect to your Slack, email. It does that. So end it up. So this is pretty quick thing on the QuickSuite. Yeah. Remove it. Remove the video. Next slide. So I think that's it from the QuickSuite. So quick automate is something also you can see where it is something takes a Python code, etc. and as well. So now let's move to this transform. So have you seen Transformer movie, anyone? So this is the Bumblebee, how it got transformed from some, take it as a legacy application and how it latest and serverless kind of thing. The transform is also the same thing. It modernizes your legacy legacy code into the cloud. You want to be a serverless or server, it's totally on you. So it's not something it's going to push you. So the next thing, what kind of things it capabilities has? VMware. VMware it does to migrate to EC2s and mainframe modernization, .NET framework as well, a SQL Server modernization. It takes care about these kind of server migrations as well. It has the human in loop approvals as well. It's not like blindly generating some content and going to end up. It has the human intervention. You can also able to, you can also able to control the access. It's not everyone going to access the workspace. The lead developers has some administrator role. Some of the people have the read access. So it has that much feasibility. Even the network translation is also possible. If you are on the VMware, it maps to the AWS VPC like NAT gateway, security, groups, NACLs, etc. So these are like migration phases basically for the mainframe. When you kick-start your transform, you can able to see these are the basic phases it going to flow with you. Everyone has its own, like .NET, which I worked on last week, like migrating something around the 4 to 8. So it does the everything. It took care the assessment part. It connect to my GitHub repository. It showed me, Vishnu, these are the lines of code you need to change. And once you give me approve, so then I will go and change. And if I have any test cases, I can give it to that. If not, it can come up. It can also come up with the plan as well. So how I'm doing it in a sequential manner. So in the demo, we can see. It's not moving. So demo of the transform. So basically, I did on the Boto 2 to Boto 3 Python SDK. So it's like a simple thing. So you can see, this is a transform. I created the workspace. So workspace is a kind of, you can take it as a place where you can have some jobs running. Job is nothing but your transformation. Can you pause here? You can see, right, hi, Pawan. So it was asking me, where can I assist you? Is your mainframe transformation or migration nothing but the VMware or Windows modernization or something called custom code? Custom code is recently released in the reInvent, which is one we are going to see in the demo. You can also see some of the options here. The job, every thing modernization, you are going to click on that. It's going to create a job for you where you can analyze, you can have a separate works segregation towards your migrations and the artifacts. Once the migrations were done, you can able to see the artifacts, what kind of files it created. For example, it creates the plan.json as well. Like how sequential I'm going to do, converting your code, and what kind of standards I'm going to check, and summary. Then collaborators is nothing but us. Like, for example, I am administrator, you are some kind of code reviewers, we can do that. Connectors is nothing but connecting to your GitHub repository or Bitbucket, if you ask, like GitLab, etc. So settings is something you will just get notifications. For example, someone created a job in your workspace. So obviously you need to check, and then you get the daily digest feedback, feed email as well, so what has been done today in the workspace. Yeah, play. So here, I clicked on the custom code. So you can see the API SDK, and for example, your Spring Boot Java or JavaScript or Node.js. Now, yeah. So it directly assisting me and created me a job as well. So, yeah. So here, I chose for the API and SDK version upgrade. So I just asked it. So for the custom code, you need something called AWS Transform CLI need to be installed. So I installed it on my Windows system using the Windows subsystem Linux, and also Node.js must be there with the version of 20 plus. So I just asked, can you convert my Python, boot02 to boot03? So before seeing to that, we can see like a lot of emails coming from us if you are using the Lambda functions. The runtime support was expiring, like if you're using some Python, Node.js, or JavaScript. So there, this can be very useful. Instead of taking some time, setting up, you can just have the code and you can just rewrite that using this transform. So we already tested it for our customers for the Lambda functions, so it worked pretty well. So it's not like a Ubuntu SDK, so obviously some protection code for the workflows in the Lambda. So it asked me, okay, Vishnu, I found one transformation. It's nothing but, transformation definition file is nothing but the blueprint, which was earlier speaker mentioned. So it was there, so it can able to handle it. You might ask me a question, what if it cannot able to handle it? It will do that as well, because I tested the Python 2.5 to Python 3.8 migration as well. So it worked well. So it's not something has a limitation. So for that, you need to create the custom definition file using CLI. So this is the CLI command for anything, for custom definition file, or if you're working on the custom code. Once it is done, this is my plain Booto code. So I'm just coming to my WSL. Obviously, whenever you're trying to run this command, make sure you already run the AWS configure command. So yeah, you can just keep it in 2x speed. So obviously, configure command was wrong. Before going to that, you need to do the Git initialization as well, because whatever it done, it will create your GitHub repository. It will commit the stepwise and make sure it was available. So there was some issue with my project name, so that's the reason it was giving the error. You can also see the debug logs and etc. as well. So it was mentioning where I can find the logs to this. So just move a little bit. Yeah, wait. So yeah, wait, stop. Just can you go back a little bit, because the transformation thing was completed, I think. Yeah, little back. Wait. Yeah, stop. So you can see, right? I just ran that command. It was like, okay, Vishnu, I can see I'm adding the demo repository to the particular campaign, and now I'm starting my transformation. What will the first step when you're migrating some code? Obviously, you need some set of idea, like what stepwise, phase-wise. Like for example, there are some critical functions, they need to be addressed. So in the same fashion, transform can also create a plan.json for us. So you can also review that, okay, there are these kind of steps I am taking, these are the migration I am doing. It also shows you the logs, you can also access the log as well. It checked my Git status, did the Git initialization. Once it is done, it will take some time. Some speed, little bit. Not too much, because the JSON I just want to, yeah. You can see, right? It created me some kind of steps and the verification as well. Stop, just a little, 5 seconds. Yeah. You can see, right? It created me plan.json here. So the step 1 would be setting up the virtual environment. Obviously, it needs to test. It needs to create, do the transformation part and everything. It was creating the virtual environment behalf of us, the Python virtual environment, and it also looking for the dependencies as well. Once it creates that, it also able to do some verification as well. So verify is the particular thing has the virtual VNV was exist, and bootocare was loaded, and boot03 was imported and not. So can you move forward? Now the actual step 2, it begins. It transforms my Boot02 to Boot03, and obviously it comes with some set of steps, and it started transforming as well. And you can see a little bit, it will take some time. It was doing the validation. Stop. Yeah, you can see that the step 2, step 3, what it done, it comes with a summary, and the guardrail, a compliance check. I did a API capability check and security checks, any functional unit test. It also committed my code there as well. So every time, at every step, it was taking care of these things. It's not simply blindly converting the code. It's more about converting the code and then make sure it was reliable and also verified. You can just go to the last part of the video. Move a little faster. So I have been using some VPN. That's the reason of these connectivity issues when I'm doing the demo. So I thought of creating another video, but it's yeah. You can just move. That's it? Okay. So it created me, the main.py was there, build log was there, and I already committed into the Git, so that's the reason it was not showing. So you can see like simple transformation has been took around 20 minutes, barely, with the bare minimum steps. Just 2 CLI commands, AWS transform. Think about how we can start using on the legacy protection migrations and all. So I think that's it. So thanks for hearing me out, and I hope you love this session so you can get more insights on how we can use QuickSuite and transform. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, folks, if you have